Joining us now is the former executive director for Iranian Americans for Liberty, Brian Lieb, as well as U.S. Navy Captain Morgan Murphy and retired Brigadier General with the U.S. Air Force Blaine Holt. Really appreciate all of you joining us this morning. A somber note, of course, Morgan, the eighth night of consecutive strikes against Iran after 2 U.S. service members were killed in action in Jordan, with 1 service member still missing. Is this the beginning of a new phase of this war?
Well, the Navy is doing what it's done best since 1861. And Iran is playing a very old playbook, which is try to close a choke point, try to close a strait. The Ottoman Empire did that by mining the Dardanelles, and this is exactly what Iran is trying to do with the Strait of Hormuz. And the United States Navy has a long tradition of breaking up blockades. Admiral Farragut did that right here in my home state of Alabama in Mobile. He said, damn the torpedoes, by which he meant mines, full speed ahead. So the Trump administration is moving full speed ahead to open the strait. We had 15 vessels go through yesterday. And I think that this regime has done something that no diplomat has ever been able to do, really, with our partners in the Gulf region, and that is unite them all. Bahrain, Jordan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, all were struck this week, and that unites friends and enemies like no other business.
General Holt, let me ask you, with these service members being killed defending a U.S. base in Jordan against the ballistic and drone attacks from Iran, every time we hit Iran, they hit our military bases back. What do you think it's going to take now to break this cycle? And it seems like the cycle's gone from memorandum of understanding, which never really held, to escalation after escalation. So in your opinion, from a military perspective, what does the president need to do to get this done?
So that timing, Bill, from MOU to right now has worked for us in terms of getting what's going to be the Iranian Revolution prepped and ready to go. And that's what's going to happen. And so here's why you're seeing, we're not going to go into an all-out shock and awe vaporization campaign and hijack a revolution. We're going to aid and abet one. There's a very different strategy there. And so we're going to open up the straits militarily. We're going to, last night we really upped the cost imposition to the IRGC, especially in Tehran. And we're going to continue to do those things. We grieve the losses that we have. Thank God we haven't had anything really horrific happen. But this is war. War is dangerous, and there's not 130,000 of our forces on the ground going for an occupation like we saw the last time. So things are going very well, but it's not going to be without danger or risk.
Yeah, and of course, Iran officially suspending all commitments made under the Memorandum of Understanding. Brian, they're also calling for President Trump's death, putting up a billboard in central Tehran featuring the president in a coffin. Are these legitimate threats, propaganda? How do you see this playing out, as well as in terms of the leadership right now? You have your finger on the pulse of who's in charge. Can you elaborate a bit on that?
Yeah, guys, good morning. The IRGC is still in control. They're the ones that are still running this country and calling all the shots. And, I think that there certainly are credible threats, and we have to take them seriously as they threaten to kill President Trump, and they've threatened to kill other U.S. personnel and just ordinary Americans. So I think the IRGC does still have certain capabilities, and it's just another wake-up call, I think, for all of us as they continue to threaten to kill our president, and now they have ultimately killed several U.S. service members. About why diplomacy with a terrorist regime like in Tehran was never going to work. This has been what they've been doing for the last 47 years, sowing chaos all throughout the region, and they're not going to continue. They're not going to stop doing it until we really take them out. And listen, I've said before, and maybe this is harsh language, but I don't think this is going to end until the IRGC, all of them, are in body bags.
Yeah.
Morgan, let's talk about the Strait of Hormuz. Iran continues to say they control the strait, and as Brian just said, the Revolutionary Guard is in charge, so that means them. Now, they reportedly asked the Houthis to shut down the Bab el-Mandab Strait in Yemen. That's another major global oil route and a choke point. You're a Navy guy. What can we do to prevent that from happening? Is this all a part of the same strategy of shutting down the IRGC?
It is, and it's their attempt to control these choke points. And very few Americans know that the U.S. Navy has been fighting the Houthis in what is the biggest sea battle since the Battle of the Atlantic. We have spent thousands of munitions and missiles going after these Iranian proxies, and we've been fighting this battle for the better part of 3 years. So it's something the Navy is very familiar with, and there's a broader audience here. It's not just our regional partners in the Middle East. You better believe that Xi Jinping is watching very closely how the United States handles this problem in the Strait of Hormuz, because he's got his own strait that he's eyeballing over there in Taiwan. And so we are getting a lot of experience here fighting Shahed missiles, which fly at about 115 miles an hour and broadcast exactly where they are. Chinese missiles and drones won't be doing that. So he's watching America's playbook, and so far, it looks very good.
All right. Really great to have you gentlemen with us here this morning. Appreciate your time and your insights. And of course, we'll be following this story very closely.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Up next.